Hello there. I'd like to explain something that I got to understand from working with thousands of people one-on-one. And after you work with people so many times, you start to discover patterns. And this key can really help you navigate life and give you confidence. So what I discovered is that we have basically, as human beings, we have two possible stages of human development. We have stage 1 and stage 2, naturally. Stage 1, I call it the boot camp. And stage 2, I call it heaven on earth. Heaven on earth. When people come to see me, most people are stuck in stage 1. And what's the main difference between stage 1 and stage 2 is that in stage 1, you get your whole sense of self from the outside world. From the outside world. So I call that also the unconscious, asleep, infantile stage, where we're constantly reacting to our environment to find our sense of worth. And why does that happen? It's because when you are born, right from the get-go, love has to come from the outside. If you are not loved from the outside, you will die. So we're kind of tricked into believing that love comes from the outside all the time. And when the world around you reacts to you in a way that you like, you feel amazing, you feel I'm queen or king of the world, I can have everything. But let's say your mom is exhausted, or your dad, or whoever is your caregiver is exhausted, they've taken care of you all day, or they're asleep, they didn't hear you, and you cry and cry and cry and cry, and nobody comes. You start creating all kinds of story about yourself. You start thinking, what's wrong with me? If I was worthy, someone would be coming, nobody's coming. And then you cry some more, and then it hurts so much to ask for what you want that you stop asking for it. And that starts huge problems, because now you're going through life feeling dissatisfied, feeling you're not worthy, feeling that you can also not ask for what you want. And then mom has the audacity to have another baby. So now what's wrong with me? Like, I'm not enough. And then you go to school, and one day your best friend is your best friend, but the next day somebody's got a better toy than you. They're not with you anymore. So by doing this, you're constantly looking for the outside world to react to you in a way that makes you feel good about yourself. And I call that the boot camp. And some of us, we were born into family dynamics and situations that were easy. So I call that my 3 type of boot camp. The first type of boot camp, maybe you were born in a family where things were really easy. I call that the musical boot camp. So you go there, it's nice and fun, but what happens is and I use this to represent support in this challenge. So the more challenged you are, the stronger you become. There's the corny story of the butterfly in the cocoon story. So one day, a scientist is observing a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. It's a huge struggle. It takes hours and hours and hours. So to be nice to the butterfly, he cuts the cocoon open. But by doing this, the butterfly has nothing to struggle against. The wings are weak. It can never fly, and it dies like that. So if you're born into a musical boot camp, it was easy, but your wings didn't get as strong. So now, as you go through life, things are scarier for you. Some of you were born into an athletic boot camp, which is pretty good because you're supported in challenge, you have to believe in yourself, and you grow some pretty healthy wings. And you have the capacity of creating, different dynamics with yourself. The most challenging type of boot camp, I call it the Navy SEAL boot camp. And if you know anything about Navy SEAL, they have like training that's called like Hell Week. So for a whole week, they don't sleep, they do crazy things. And if you survive it, you become a Navy SEAL. So you're a superhuman being almost when you graduate from the Navy SEAL boot camp. So some of you were born in family dynamics that were super challenging. The beauty of that is now you are able to sustain real big challenges, except if you decided that something must have been wrong with you for having had this type of intense boot camp. So the good news is it's not true. None of whatever boot camp you were given, none of this was because something was wrong with you. It was there to support and challenge you into becoming the best expression of yourself. So it's important to do your inner work and go see the big picture so that you understand this. So you can shift from stage 1 where you are driven to run away from pain towards pleasure. And when you are living like this, you're at the mercy of the world outside of you, and that's very challenging. You cannot control this. You feel totally at the mercy of the events of your life. However, when you come into stage 2, I call this heaven on earth. So if right now you're facing a challenge in your life, often that's when people come to see me. I also have people come to see me just because they want to live a great life. If you're facing a challenge right now, just be grateful, because it's forcing you to ask yourself questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? Because what the stuff I've been doing is not working. I need to find a solution. Hope you join us. I will show you how you can free yourself from this illusion, because you are worthy of love. You are worthy of having an amazing life.